Alright, so in this video, I'm going to go over how to play the first 9 measures of Moonlight Sonata. I am not going to get into the whole piece in this video. This is going to be the first movement, just the first 9 measures. We're going to really just get through that first section of the main theme. So I'm going to play it through once here, give you a feel for how it goes, and then we'll go through it kind of measure by measure and talk about different things, different fingerings to use, the way we count the rhythms, and all sorts of things. All right, so, and if you haven't done so already, please download the sheet music that I have provided for this. All right, here it goes. All right, so we're going to end right there for now. So yeah, let's go through this piece. It is such a beautiful piece. One of Beethoven's most famous pieces, one of his most famous movements. So let's get into kind of the details of how we're going to play this. So the first thing is, let's just talk about the left hand, right? We don't need to take it measure by measure. Let's just get an idea of what it's doing. It's mostly doing octaves, right? So if you haven't seen an octave before, you haven't played an octave before, it's when you play the same note twice, right? Within one octave away. So this is 90% of the time going to be played with your pinky and thumb. And as you play more octaves, your fingers will start to stretch and get used to that movement. So we're just really going to be doing C sharp. And I'm sorry, actually, let's talk about, we are in the key of C sharp minor here, similar to E major. They both have 4 sharps, which are F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. C sharp minor is the same as E major in terms of what sharps it has. So this is in C sharp minor. We can tell by the first chord and by the first left hand we're playing. All right, so we have C sharp in the left hand. Then the next measure, B's, then A, then F sharp, G sharp, and then we basically are doing the octave here, but just adding the 5th. So a 5th above C sharp is G sharp. Very common in chords to do the root of the chord, the 5th of the chord, and then the root again an octave up. So he does that. He'll do it in the next chord when he uses the B sharps and the G sharp, back to C sharp, F sharp, B natural, E, but mostly octaves. So that's really the thing to work on there, is being able to get those octaves. This is a great song to practice to work on playing octaves in the left hand. What the right hand is doing is, it's a lot of times it's playing out the chord of whatever note it's on. So if it's on a C sharp, here it's playing a C sharp minor chord, which is the first chord in the key of C sharp minor. So a C sharp minor chord is C sharp, E, G sharp. He's basically playing that arpeggiated in an inversion, so he's playing G sharp, C sharp, E, just like that. And he's doing that most of the time. And we're in a triplet rhythm. So if you've never played a triplet rhythm, this is a rhythm in which you're fitting 3 beats into 1, right? So 3 notes into 1. So if I turn on a metronome, right, we can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So with triplets, we need to fit 3 beats into each one. So we have to fit them evenly, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the rhythm we're going to need to get going. So I'm at a speed of 50 here, which is a good speed to actually play this piece at. And it'll go like this if I just play the first measure to get that rhythm down. So we're getting those 3 beats into 1. So this piece is great for working on that as well. Besides working on octave, we're working on playing some triplets. So like I said, we're just playing C sharp in our left hand, C sharp minor chord here. All we're doing, we keep the C sharp minor chord going in the next hand, in the next measure, excuse me, and then all we do is drop down to B's here. Same thing in our right hand. And then we drop down to an A here, and all we do is change to an A here. So that this makes an A major chord what we're playing. Then we go to a D major inversion here, right? So he's just playing out these chords inverted and arpeggiated, right? Inverted meaning not in the exact order of a triad, and then arpeggiated meaning one note after the next. So that's really the pattern here. Playing out the C sharp minor chord, So that's really the pattern here, right? Chord, 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 and then here he plays this nice chord. So here in measure 4, adds in that B sharp, and then also he's switching notes on each triplet. So G, B sharp, F sharp, G, C sharp, E, G, C sharp, D sharp, G sharp, B sharp, D sharp there. So that's a little measure to practice on its own, which could be tricky. And then finally comes back to the C sharp minor chord. And then he just plays it in its different inversions. So that is the introduction. That part's actually a little more simple. Once you get the feel of the triplets, you get used to playing octaves, that part will start to feel a little more simple. The challenge now really comes when you add in this melody, because we're still doing that triplet here, but now we're playing the top note of the melody as a dotted 8th note and a dotted 16th note. So that's going to sound like 1 E and da 2, right? So that's the rhythm we're following there. Ba da 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 da. That's going to be our rhythm. So starting in measure 6 here, right? Now we're adding in this other rhythm. Didn't need to play that left hand there. Let me do that one more time. Right, that's our da, da, and then switch chords here in the right hand. Same idea. Back to that chord. Back to that chord. Right, now we're back to normal here. We start adding in the chords again. Right, so we're always playing that triplet rhythm there. This is the complicated thing with this part here. If you're new to this, if you haven't played rhythms like this is the complexity in this part, is that you're playing triplets here with these 3 fingers, but then you're playing a different melody here, right? So this is just the melody line. And then a nice stretch of a 9th there, and then just your E major arpeggio there. So that's what's going on there. So if you feel this is too challenging, you've tried it, you just cannot get it, just stick with that intro part. You know, a piece is something you can work on over time. So in a few months, you'll have developed that ability to play the triplets while doing a separate rhythm and all in one hand. So don't give up on it just yet. You know, just work on that intro part if you can. Just get used to playing triplets. You can come back to this piece when you feel ready for it. If you are able to get it, great. You know, it's a big thing. It really is just letting this piece breathe, giving it space. Right. This big little ba da da. Here's the nice chord change. Sorry to go with the F sharp there. Nice chord change here. And then it kind of mellows out a little here. Right, we're coming to that 5 chord. And then bring it back. And then it'll eventually go into the minor. And it basically does the same thing in minor. But I'm not going to get into that in this video here. So yeah, this piece will take some time. Like we said, really the way you want to break it down is first getting those octaves down in your left hand, right? Then getting that triplet rhythm going. Then getting used to getting the triplet rhythm going throughout. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And really just getting this part down before moving on to the part with the melody. Once you get that intro part down, the melody part will be easier because you'll be really confident in getting those triplets down. Then all you're simply doing is adding in a little 16th note there. So it could be hard to count that, right? We're trying to, because to count triplets, you have to get out of the mindset of 1 and 2 and. Right now we need to be 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, and so on. And now we have that dotted 16th note. So you don't need to be able to count it exactly. What you really need to do is be able to feel the way it goes. Like, right? Just being able to feel it out a little bit. It can be different for everybody, but you don't need to exactly try and notate that rhythm. If you just listen to someone play it, if you listen to me play it, and then just try and imitate that, it'll be much easier than trying to read that rhythm. So yeah, so that is really all for this piece. I'll play it through one more time just so you can hear it. And as always, if you have any questions for me, you can email me at digitalpianoschool@gmail.com. All right, so here it is. All right, so that is the only part we're working on. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.